the other YouTube naturalistas use gel. Why would I use foam? And the reality is, you need to be getting a foam. The foam is where it's at, not the gel. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and this is Hello Minicy. Today I'm going to talk about 10 facts about low porosity hair or natural hair in general. Alright, so I have my notes here. So as I've been saying my last few videos is when I went to this I'm telling you, when I went to this natural hair salon, it really like changed my life because I learned so much from this beautician. So the first myth that I want to get into is that oils are moisturizers. They're not. They're not moisturizers. Matter of fact, have you ever mixed oil and water? Do they mix? No. So if your hair is dry, you don't want to put oil on dry hair because, for instance, if you're thirsty, are you going to grab oil to drink or water? Water, duh. You're going to grab water to drink if you're thirsty, not oil. So if your hair is dehydrated, you need to moisturize it with water, not oil. So that's the first myth. Oils are not moisturizers. They're not. Second one, leave-ins are the only thing you need to moisturize your hair. Wrong. You need an actual moisturizer. For instance, if you look at whatever product you're getting ready to put on your hair, and if the first ingredient is not water, go ahead and put it back, sis. It's not going to help moisturize your hair. Make sure that the first ingredient is water. The next myth is that steamers aren't worth it. So if you have low porosity hair, that means that your hair has difficulty holding moisture. So if you have a steamer, what is that one steamer? The Redo one that's like the handheld one. There's also the ones where you can sit underneath it and get your hair steamed. All of these are great, especially if you have low porosity hair, because those steamers are going to open the cuticles of your hair so that it can help trap the moisture of whatever products you're putting on your hair. So steamers are worth it, especially if you have low porosity hair. Steam in your products before you do your protective styles. Steam in your products before you do your protective hairstyles. This is going to really help lock in the moisture for your hair. The fourth myth is that you need heavy products for your hair. That is not true. And oftentimes, especially if you have low porosity hair, those products are just sitting on top of your hair. They're not doing anything for your hair. It's important that you get products that are going to be absorbed into your hair. This is why steamers are great, especially for low porosity hair folks like me. The next myth, the fifth myth is that you don't need shampoo. So I know a lot of naturalistas believe that all you need to do is to co-wash, but the reality is you're just getting that build up in your hair, and you're not cleaning your scalp, which is preventing your hair from growing. You need to get specifically a cleansing shampoo for your hair. If you go to take a bath or a shower, are you grabbing the soap or are you grabbing lotion? That is what it's like if you are just co-washing your hair. You're just putting lotion on your hair, right? You're just putting all that moisture into it, but you're not cleansing your hair. You need to cleanse your hair, especially a clarifying shampoo. That's what's really going to help strip your hair of all the buildup, and then put on a nice thick moisturizing conditioner after you have cleansed your scalp. The sixth myth is that you don't need detangling tools. Don't use combs, only finger detangle. And the reality is you cannot just finger detangle your hair, especially as your hair gets longer and thicker. You're going to need some type of tool to help you manage your hair. Now, I always suggest that you start by using your fingers. Like in the shower, when I'm washing my hair, I'll detangle it with my fingers, but you also need a tool. My favorite product that I use now is actually the pattern hair brush. There's a lot on the market, but I found like the pattern brush, like if you go back to the basics of the denim brush, those brushes seem to be the best ones. I don't really use a comb. I use the denim brush the most when I'm detangling my hair. The seventh myth is that blow dryers are bad. The reality is you have to use everything in moderation. So if you feel like, oh, if I blow dry my hair will never grow, That's not necessarily the case. But are you putting a heat protectant on your hair? Are you blow drying it on cool? How are you treating your hair when you are using these heat products? That's going to be the difference of whether your hair is going to get heat damage or not. So blow dryers are not bad. They just have to be used in moderation. The Mizani 25, what is it? It's like 25. I'll put it in the description box, but it's like 25 something. If you spray that on your hair, it's moisturizing your hair as well as a heat protectant. Number 8, coming a little bit closer. Everyone's hair is not going to reach waist length. I'm sorry to be that person to tell you, everyone is not going to have hair down to their back like Rapunzel. For me, my hair gets to a certain length and it seems to just stop. And I'm just like, how can I get it past this certain point? You know, is this just the length that it's going to be for the rest of my life? I really would like to get it past that point. But for me, the most important part is actually the health of my hair versus the length. So health over length, health over length, health over length. I cannot preach that enough of health over length, because I know you've seen those girls that are like, oh, I can never go natural, and their ends are all straggly, and you're like, sis, just cut it off, it'll be okay. Everyone's hair is not going to reach waist length. The 9th myth is that your hair has to be pressed or flat ironed in order to be trimmed. And that's not the reality. The reality is all you need is a really good stretch or blow dry for your hair. The 10th myth is if you do a big chop, your hair will grow nice and long. As someone who... sorry, the window's open. As someone who has done the big chop, let me tell you, it is not worth doing the big chop. I truly wish that I had just trimmed my hair, maybe cut it a little bit shorter than cutting it to an inch, maybe 2. I don't even know if it was 2 inches. And even the beautician was like, I don't know about this. Like, why don't we just trim it? I was like, no, cut it off. I want to change. Don't do it. Do you hear me? Don't do it. And then this is a bonus tip. Don't mix your gels and your creams. That's typically when you get that flakiness in your hair, especially when you do like a twist out. Instead, do something like the ID Texture. This is actually like a foam, and they said that the foam works better. At first I was a little bit skeptical about the foam, like, but all the other YouTube naturalistas use gel. Why would I use foam? And the reality is, you need to be getting a foam. The foam is where it's at, not the gel. To recap, oils are not moisturizers. Leaveins should not be your main source of moisturizing your hair. Steamers are worth it. Low porosity hair does not mean that you need to just pile on products. You do need to shampoo your hair. You do need to use the detangling tools. Blow dryers are not bad. Everyone's hair will not reach waist length. You do not need to have your hair pressed or flat ironed to trim it. And you do not have to do the big chop for your hair to grow. And the bonus one was do not mix your gels and the creams. I hope these things have helped you and will help you in your natural hair journey. Let me know how you feel about these things. If you've heard these, if these are new to you, I am here to help share and grow with you. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video.